Hi Aquarius, my sun sign brothers and sisters. Welcome to your week ahead tarot with me, Raphael from Radiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. Quick note, these readings are for your sun, moon and ascendant sign. Remember to use your own discernment. They are general readings after all. Before we start, as always, I would like to bless my decks of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance. And I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise. They help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. So, if you are a continued subby, you know Rafi loves you. If you're new to my channel, please don't forget to like, share, and if you should so choose and it resonates, hit the subscribe button. Your key to the week is the Hermit card. So it looks like a lot of you are potentially going underground this week, right? Remember, the Hermit card is about withdrawing from the world. And if you've been with me long enough, you will have heard me say the Hermit card shows up when the High Priestess has a message for you. But sometimes, truly, the only way for us to really hear our intuition is to take time out and to quiet ourselves and our lives so that we can hear our spirit speak, right? Now, the Hermit card also, because it is withdrawal from the world, there's a feeling about this that this week you might go to ground, right? You know, you're going to continue doing everything that you're doing, but you might go a little bit quiet this week, and it's probably because you're biding your time, your effort, your energy for the plans that you have for the future. Nothing wrong with that at all. Right, look at this. So you've got the Ace of Pentacles as your actions and options. Ace of Pentacles is a new home, it's a new job, it's new work, but it is also the process, or should I say the period of 1 year. This tells me that this week, I don't know what's special about this week. Try the eclipse, Raf. Right. Yeah, it's been a hard few months, right? There's a lot rattling around up in here. What this tells me though is this week, whatever you start this week, it's going to be a year over which you will perfect something. There's something here that sees you really sort of gathering momentum, but you're starting small, you're starting slow. It's like you're going to ground. It's like you're going to disappear. You know when they say like disappear for 6 months and come back a totally different person, man. I don't know. Don't ask. But I do feel like that's what a lot of you are about to do here. I had no plans for this, by the way. I know everyone's like, well, you're an Aquarius, so now we know what you're up to. I had no plans for this, but when I see this, I do wonder what occurs this week to make me kind of say, right, okay, this is how we're going to move forward. For your communications and conversations, you've got the Knight of Cups. This is an offer or an opportunity of some sort that comes through work that you either don't anticipate. For some of you, it will be a new job. Now, the Knight of Cups in terms of communications, this is conversations about offers, opportunities that are on the table. In terms of the options that are available with that Ace of Pentacles, these are lucrative options that are available to you now. For those of you that are studying or in some form of academia, this could be that you get offered a TA position. That's very possible. It could also be that you get a work placement position that ends up actually being, paying. For those of you that are employed by somebody else, your Knight of Cups with the Hermit card, this is where you kind of get to see, it's not the Star card, right? But you kind of get, it's almost like you're either getting to shadow somebody or you're getting a look behind the scenes to kind of ask yourself, okay, do I feel like this could be the job for me, right? You get a really good, strong sort of, what's the word that I'm looking for? Yeah, you get like a really strong, not even ability, but it's like you get a really good strong look behind the scenes. It's like you don't really get that a lot with a job, right? Where it's like you get the job and then you go into it and that's that. You might actually get offered to kind of go and shadow somebody or to maybe have like an induction or an open day, and you will be able to see almost immediately whether this is for you, right? Which is great. For those of you that are business owners, entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, this is an opportunity for something that will very likely see you, maybe not necessarily more in the public eye, But it's like, in order to do this thing, you will have to somewhat be on display, right? Whether this is that you're working with a big client, maybe you're partnering up with a marketing firm, or whatever the case might be. And yet, on the other side of it, you've got all of this energy in the background that says you're kind of pulling away. You're doing a disappearing act. You're going on the missing list for a while, and you're going to start to gestate your plans and your ideas and grow new seeds of some regard. For those of you that are retired and no longer working, it could be a partner, a friend, a colleague, somebody that comes forward to say, look, you know what, I feel like this is an area that you need support in. Are you up for it? For your love and relations, you've got the Devil card. There's a lot of earth here, right? You've got the Devil, you've got the Hermit card, you've got the Ace of Pentacles, with a little bit of water that offers the nourishment that the earth needs, which is good. For those of you that are partnered, married, or in long-term commitments, the Ace of Pentacles with the Devil card, you might see where your relationship has taken on a bit too much of a material sort of transactional nature. All right. And so you might say, to your partner, like, I feel like we're just existing together. Can we get the heart back in it? It may also be as well that there are conversations around addictions, around patterns that are unhealthy that come up here. For those of you that are single and looking, look, the Devil card with the Knight of Cups, this is someone who's got really good banter. And if you're an Aquarius, or if you're cross-watching for an Aquarius, if you ain't got no banter, if you ain't got no chat, don't bother, because straight up, we'll be bored out of our brains, right? And I gotta say, this is kind of like, whoever this person is, they have the sweetest taboo about them, right? It's the Devil card, it's the Knight of Cups, they could have all, they could say all the right things, they could look just the right way. And yet, if they show up as the Devil, the chances are this person's going to be a little bit of a bad influence. A little bit of a bad influence is not a bad thing, but keep your wits about you, because it could be very lusty, it could be very sexual, very sensual, and it could also be, you're really good for that aspect of what I want from my life, but when, I think about it in the long run, you're unreliable, I'm not sure I'd want you to meet my parents, there's a few things that are somewhat questionable. So before you kind of fall hook, line and sinker, just pace yourself. For your money and materials, you've got the Five of Swords. So you've got the Five of Swords and you've got this Ace of Pentacles here. There is not an argument over finances, but there is you having to really, especially with the Hermit card, you might have to start getting a little bit more measured when it comes to your resources. And this is going to start a 5-month cycle. So in fact, let's say 6 to 12 month cycle. So whatever's going on here, this next year is going to see you really growing your money and really enhancing your finances. But in the beginning, as in from this week onwards, it's going to be really tough, because it's like you're having to get really honest about what you're doing with your money, how you're spending it, how you're using it, what you've allocated it to. You might have to start getting a little bit more forensic about the spending habits. So there's that, right? Not particularly fun or sexy. And then on top of that, if you're single and you're meeting somebody who's kind of like, oh, fuck it, let's go out, like, chuck a sickie to work tomorrow. And if you've got someone that's like doing all of those things, you gotta, you gotta measure it basically. When it comes to your, anyway, when it comes to your physical health and vitality, the Five of Swords can and will show up as your nervous system, because you've got this with the Hermit card. There might be an element of this where you realize very quickly that your diet is actually not doing you any favors in terms of how you feel. If you're, as many of you probably know, I'm not a doctor, I can't give you medical advice, yada, yada, yada. Disclaimer, disclaimer, disclaimer. Every adult is severely magnesium deficient. So if you're not getting any of that through any of your meals at all, and you're not taking a supplement, that's going to be, do you know what I mean? Like, it's going to be it's something that you need to look at. When it comes to your home and environment, the Five of Swords can be a dispute, right? This is an argument card. And I wonder if, because it's opposite the devil card, I wonder if this is arguments, disputes, and challenges, etc., that are going on through the family. And what's interesting is, because it falls next to the Hermit card tends to be older people. This is like great aunt, grandparent, parent sort of age. You know, like people that are sort of not even a modicum, but are sort of usually quite a bit older than us. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. With that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Let me know in the comments how it shapes up. Take care, and I'll see you soon.